Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to do a full breakdown and guide for Lindon. We're going to analyze his strengths and weaknesses, add his max stats, we'll discuss preferred class options, best skills to inherit, pairing options, weapons, and more. All of this is my own personal experience, right? So if you have different ideas on how to build Lindon, I would love to hear about them down in the comments. It's a great opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. That being said, those of you that are newer to the game, this video is going to serve as a great knowledge base for best practices moving forward in how to build Lindon and beat Maddening mode with him.
You've brought us quite a few miracles already. Of course I believe in you. Never doubt it.
Okay, so before even starting, I want to make sure that you don't miss the opportunity to recruit him in the first place. Lindon can be recruited by speaking to him during chapter 18th, which is called the Cold Voyage Battle. Now, he's a hostile unit, and he can be killed, so be careful not to get him in range of anyone that's going to kill him if he initiates combat with you. If you keep Lindon alive until the end of the battle without talking to him, well, he's still not going to join your party. You need to talk to him with Alir, Ivy, or Hortensia if you want to recruit him. Alright, now, with that out of the way, let's talk about his class. Lindon starts off as a sage, and although he makes a decent stage at this point in the game, you likely already have good magic users established. For example, you'll have Pandrio, Ivy, Hortensia, Citrine, Celine, Fram, and if you have the DLC, you might even have Gregory from the Fell Xenologue. So, with so many better magic users already on the team, I personally am going to reclass him. So I picked Wolf Knight to take advantage of his personal skill, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later on in the video. Since Lindon starts off as a pre-promoted unit, he is decent, but at this point in the game, we need a beast. I mean, realistically, compared to many of my characters at this point, he really has some catching up to do. The only way to make a fair comparison, in my opinion, between characters is to see how they are when they're maxed out. So, that being said, Lindon's cap stats are as follows: 69 health, 12 build, 40 strength, 28 magic, 40 dex, 45 speed, 25 defense, 35 resistance, and 34 luck. Obviously, as a cavalry unit, this class already has great movement, and on top of that, it's pretty balanced compared to most, but I also want to point out his speed. I mean, 45 is pretty beast mode, and this is going to come in really handy with his personal skill, which is called Weapon Insight. Now, this skill grants plus 20 crit to Lindon if his weapon level is lower than his foes in combat. With such high speed, Lindon is already one of my go-tos when counting on critical hits, and that works so well with a skill that can grant him an additional 20 points. Now, in fact, this skill is part of the whole reason that I picked the Wolf Knight class for him in the first place. He has great speed from that class already, but when you give him a killer weapon and trigger his personal skill, you can get up to 50 to 70% crit rates, which makes it common practice for him to crit twice in a single combat. Now, you can imagine how much of a game changer this can be against the right units. As a sage, this really isn't a skill that I feel adds a lot of value to him, as even with 20% added crit, you can't count on him to actually deal very many of them. Now, his class skill is called Hobble, and here's how it works. If Lindon initiates combat with a knife, he inflicts -2 move on his foe for 1 turn. I really like this skill a lot. Movement is the best stat in this game, and this can come in very useful when slowing enemies down to save your backline units from unwanted attacks. Alright, on to his 2 inheritance slots. Now, he has high versatility, so there's a lot of options for him. Personally, I like him as a tanker and a damage dealer. After playing around with these options, my suggestion is to inherit any of the following, right? Perceptive plus, sword agility plus 5, avoid plus 30, hold up plus, canter plus, sword power plus 5, divine pulse plus, or speed taker. But for the purpose of this video, I chose avoid plus 30 and sword agility plus 5 because it helps me demo Lindon's strength very well. In my Maddening runs though, I use Canter Plus because I love Canter Plus and it helps me get away from the enemies after attacking. Hit and run is the way to go. And Hold Out Plus Plus to protect him from crit attacks. The irony is, he can dish out the criticals, but he can't take them. As for weapons, I prefer to equip the Killing Edge plus 5 for the obvious purpose of upping those critical hits even more, 11 Sword plus 5 for added effect against low resistance units, and Silver Dagger plus 5 to cripple those enemies. The key to using Lindon is keeping his weapon a lower rank than his enemies so that we can make sure we're always triggering that plus 20 crit in the combat. And finally, we're going to talk about pairings. So, since reclassing him to Wolf Knight, I decided to pair him with Marth and take advantage of the sword skill bonus. With Marth's skill Perceptive Plus, Lindon is impossible to hit during initiated combat. As you can see here, Lindon can also solo Maddening mode with an average crit rate of 50 to 60%. Pretty freaking impressive, and as you can imagine, it's a huge asset to your Maddening mode run. Now, although he is a fairly balanced unit, you can't expect him to have the health, defense, or dexterity of other cavalry units, such as paladins. That being said, try not to get him caught in the midst of chain attacks, because they will add up and easily be his downfall. What you want to do is keep an eye out for heroes and sword masters, ideally taking them out from a distance, and then Lindon is going to have great performance for you. Okay, so there you have it. That is my suggested build for Lindon, but I would love to hear how you built Lindon down in the comments. Thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate all the support. If you liked the video, well, try hitting the like button on the video. And if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate that. It's awesome to see this community grow, and I cannot wait to see all of you in the next video.